All right, if you tune into our show, you hear us talk a lot about the real estate market, finding your dream home. It's always a part of the American dream. What about getting the financing in place? We've seen so many volatile, turbulent markets over the last several years. Joining us on the show, Russ Miller, top loan officer out of St. Louis, become a good friend of mine. Russ, good to have you on the show.
Craig, great to be here. How are you?
Good. So we've seen this whole pendulum swing in the finance world from you could fog a mirror and you could get a loan. Then it swung to the other side and it became darn near impossible. And now we're somewhere in the middle. Talk to us about where the state of finance is to first-time home buyers, the advancement of loan programs. Where are we at as a country? What's going on in St. Louis?
Yeah, the pendulum swung way too far to the one side. It is actually coming back and starting to swing past the mid. So there are some programs, believe it or not, that are coming back that are like your stated, remember your old stated income programs? They're not quite stated, but they're bank statement programs. So there are individuals who are self-employed who don't necessarily show the income. So we'll get 12 to 24 months of their asset statements and use their deposits actually as their income. So yeah, we are starting to swing the other way. MI companies, mortgage insurance companies have started swinging the other way, and they're easing up on mortgage insurance requirements and mortgage insurance factors. So that's always a good thing.
Well, there's certain programs that should never exist again, like the 550 borrower that's buying the double wide trailer with 125% financing. Like that should never happen. But when you talk about the stated income loan, that's the self-employed business owner that has tax write-offs. And so what you're referencing is that you can actually use the bank statements as an alternate means to verify the income. That's common sense lending. And I know you guys do that at New American Funding. How are interest rates doing?
You know, interest rates are still at historical lows. Now, they're not like they were back in 2012, but come on, if you can get 30-year fixed money for 4%, give or take, that's a good rate, right?
Yeah, it's you know, in the 80s, whether they're in the double digits. So at some point in time, these rates won't stick around this low. So there's great opportunities, first-time home buyer, move-up buyer, refinancing. Give me a good story of a first-time home buyer that you're working with now. What's the process like? I know that there's low inventory. We keep hearing that from the realtors. But on the finance side, getting pre-approved or pre-qualified, how do you get these offers accepted? Share us an example of someone that you're working with so we can help them navigate, anyone watching navigate the market.
Well, not everybody works with first-time homebuyer funds, so thanks for asking. Yeah, actually the state of Missouri encourages first-time homebuyers to seek out their funds. So basically, when we get an individual pre-approved for a loan, the state automatically gives them the funds for down payment. So let's say we're coupling that up with an FHA mortgage. FHA requires only a 3.5% down payment. The state of Missouri will actually give that individual 4%. So think about that. The entire down payment is covered, plus another 0.5% to go towards those closing costs. Now, quite often, Craig, the agent actually who we're doing the business with, can negotiate the sales contract to get the closing costs paid for by the seller.
The state of Missouri is giving the down payment?
Correct. Now, the caveat to that is you have to be a first-time home buyer. But think about this.
Yeah.
You're classified a first-time home buyer if you've not owned a home in the last 36 months. So that opens it up. That opens it wide up.
Wow, that's incredible. Because FHA, 3.5% down, conventional is like 5% down, and you can actually get this money from the state. It's pretty good. Same with veterans. Right? You guys are helping veterans as well, 100% financing there. So
100% financing, no mortgage insurance, and we do a ton of VA loans. Yeah, you are correct.
Well, Russ, we got introduced to you originally, and this is a while back, because I've learned that you're the #1 referred loan officer by realtors. What advice do you have for realtors out there?
For realtors out there, actually what they need to do if they're looking for a loan officer, the loan officer actually needs to, it benefits them if they're on a team, right? I'm not discrediting the lone wolf. I too was a lone wolf at one time. I did not have a team until about 8 years ago. So if there's an individual loan officer, they're more than likely busy and loan applications are in realtor referral meetings or strategizing business planning with their business partners. Now, a team such as mine, I have a production partner, and I have a loan partner who are always available when I'm tied up in those meetings. So look for someone who's on a team, okay?
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. The reality is, and I'll say it more bluntly than you, if someone hasn't built a team, they haven't really built the experience or the revenue or the income to build a team, if that makes sense. So That's
It
certainly
does,
a good
it
thing to
does,
look
yeah.
out for, testimonials. And there's a reason Russ is the only guy I'm willing to interview on this show. One of the best in the business. Russ, thanks for coming on The American Dream.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Craig.
Look, if you have questions, my number one job is to be your consumer advocate, no strings attached. I don't get any overrides or anything like that. If you have a question on finance, real estate, you need any advice, an introduction, go to AmericanDreamNetwork.tv, hit the contact form. It emails me directly, and I will respond to you before my head hits the pillow. All right, that's all for St. Louis. Thank you so much. More of The American Dream coming up next.